While many people accept certain behaviors and societal norms without thinking twice, Sigma men can't help but question the logic behind them. These independent thinkers often see the world in a different way, and some things that may seem perfectly normal to others just don't make sense to them. From superficial social rituals to confusing everyday practices, Sigma men often find themselves baffled by the things that everyone else seems to accept as normal. And if you're a Sigma, you'll definitely relate to these 7 ridiculous things that just don't make sense. Number 1. When people think you're boring just because you're quiet. Isn't it odd how people quickly judge others based on how much they talk? Some folks believe that if you're quiet, then you're automatically boring. But who made that rule? Being quiet doesn't equate to being dull. In fact, it's often quite the opposite for these individuals. Sigma men are deep thinkers who love listening and absorbing information. Silence isn't a void. It's often filled with thoughts, careful reflection, and immense creativity. It's where ideas brew and mature. While some people think silence is awkward, Sigma men find it comforting and necessary. They don't feel the need to fill every moment with chatter just to appease others. Why do you need to be loud to be interesting? That's a mystery to Sigma men. A quiet person might have fascinating hobbies, sharp wit, or deep insights. Just because you don't reveal everything doesn't mean you don't have anything worthwhile to say. Sigma men thrive on meaningful conversations, preferring depth over noise. They pick their moments to speak, and when they do, it's with purpose and clarity. Quiet individuals often have a richer inner life. They might be thinkers, dreamers, or even adventurers in ways not immediately seen. The quieter ones often have the most compelling stories. They just share them with the right people. Sigma men prefer more substance in a few well-chosen words than in a barrage of empty talk. Whether they're seen as quiet or loud, boring or exciting, they aren't out to prove themselves to anyone. Number 2. Fearing judgment from strangers. Do you remember when you were a kid and didn't care if you were covered in mud, your hair looked wild, or you sang out loud in public? Sigma men carry this carefree attitude into adulthood. It's not about defying societal norms or being a rebel. It's about living authentically and unapologetically. Imagine the freedom of not having to worry about keeping up appearances or fitting in. That's the mindset of a Sigma man. You walk down the street and someone gives you a weird look. Do you spend the rest of your day wondering if you wore the wrong outfit or if they thought your haircut looked bad? Sigma men would just shrug it off. The opinions of random people don't make a dent in their confidence. What really matters is how they see themselves and how the people they care about see them. Imagine you are at a party, worrying if everyone there will like you. Sigma men just don't get this. Why do you need to be liked by everyone? Not everyone has to be your friend, and that's perfectly okay. Seeking acceptance from strangers is a waste of time. They'd rather be real and true to themselves than try to fit a mold and impress people they don't even plan on seeing again. Even on social media, people are obsessed with likes, comments, and followers. Sigma men can't wrap their heads around it. Why should the opinion of someone who just scrolled past your photo matter more than your own happiness and comfort? To Sigma men, the answer is simple. Live your truth and let others think what they want. The real you is far more important than a polished version that meets someone else's standards. Imagine all the energy you'd save if you didn't care about scoring approval from strangers. Sigma men focus on being happy and authentic. They trust their instincts and surround themselves with people who value them for who they are. Whether someone likes them or not doesn't affect their day or their self-worth. They're not living for others. They're living for themselves. Number 3. Spending beyond your means to impress others. We buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't like. This famous quote from Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover, perfectly sums up the ridiculousness of materialism and consumerism in our society. People take out loans, swipe those credit cards, and run up debt just for fancy clothes, flashy cars, and luxurious vacations, all to post about it on social media or impress people they barely know. They crave those head-turning moments and fleeting admiration from people who don't even really matter. They go broke for brands, flaunting labels like trophies, as if people's respect can be bought at the store. Sigma men just can't understand this logic. Why spend all that effort and resources to impress people who don't even know the real you? This just screams desperation and insecurity, which are two things Sigma men avoid at all costs. It's pointless to trade financial peace for temporary admiration. Investing in real happiness and self-worth is priceless. You don't need to break the bank to shine. True fulfillment comes from within, not from the validation of others. Just because society says it's normal or expected doesn't mean it makes sense to Sigma men. They march to the beat of their own drum, and that includes questioning things that others may blindly accept. They don't feel the need to follow the latest trends or prove anything to anyone. Flashy stuff doesn't impress them. What counts more are integrity, intelligence, and individuality. So when they see people buying unnecessary stuff just to get a few compliments or likes on social media, they can't help but shake their heads. Number 4. Unnecessary social formalities. Sigma men find it ridiculous how people put so much time and energy into meaningless social formalities. Think about it. Have you ever had a long email chain with greetings and sign-offs, even when you're just confirming a date? Sigma men find this a bit absurd. Why not just get to the point? Why spend more words than needed? It's almost like people are adding extra fluff just to sound nice. Sigma men choose efficiency over formality every single time. What's really important to them is honesty and clarity, not dressing up their words to make them sound pretty. It's like there's this unwritten rulebook that everyone follows, where you have to say and do certain things to fit in. Sigma men don't need all this fluff. They prefer genuine connections and straightforward conversations. No need for saying, "How are you?" when you're not really interested in the answer, or pretending to care about the weather just to fill awkward silences. Why go through the motions of hollow pleasantries when you could be having a real dialogue? Sigma men would rather get straight to the point. If they want to thank someone, they'll do it earnestly, not just because they're supposed to. They'd rather skip the fake smiles and meaningless exchanges and get to the heart of what really matters. It's not that they're rude or lack manners. They just see through the superficial stuff and want to cut to the chase. It's about quality over quantity. Do you want to spend your time saying the same generic stuff to everyone? Or do you want meaningful chats with a few people? Sigma men choose the latter. They see the world differently and don't see the point in following traditions that make absolutely no sense. Number 5. Going back to someone who broke your heart. How many guys have you seen go back to someone who broke their heart, only to get hurt again? The truth is, way too many. After a breakup, some guys can't help but keep thinking about their ex. They replay memories in their mind, and sometimes they even humiliate themselves by begging for another chance. They think maybe things will change, maybe this time will be different, but it rarely is. Sigma men just don't get it. Why go back to someone who showed they don't value you? Past actions speak louder than empty promises. If someone broke your heart once, there's a good chance they'll do it again. These men would rather move on and focus on people who truly appreciate them. Going back is like reopening a wound. Sure, it might feel familiar, but it's also going to hurt again. Sigma men go by the saying, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." They don't give second chances to someone who's already shown their true colors. Staying stuck in the past keeps you from future happiness. The world is full of people who might actually deserve your love and attention. Sigma men keep moving forward, learning from the past, but not letting it define their future. They think it's ridiculous to repeat the same mistakes, hoping for a different outcome. Going back to an ex is like rereading a bad chapter in a book, expecting the story to change. It's pointless. Sigma men would simply flip the page and start a new chapter. Self-respect and personal dignity are way more important to them than clinging to a past that's already proven to be hurtful. Number 6. Following trends without question. Why do people blindly follow trends? Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's good or right. Sometimes, it feels like people are afraid of standing out or being different, so they just go along with whatever everyone else is doing. That's because they care too much about what others think. While it's great to keep an open mind, Sigma men don't just jump on the bandwagon. They question, they analyze, and they form their own opinions. They are independent thinkers who aren't influenced by fads or peer pressure. Trends come and go, but their own values and beliefs remain constant. Take fashion trends, for example. One year, ripped jeans are all the rage, and the next, it's all about sleek tailored pants. Sigma men couldn't care less. They wear what they like and what's comfortable, not what an influencer tells them what's cool or attractive. Following trends without question often leads to regret. You end up with a closet full of clothes you don't like, gadgets you don't need, or photos you don't want to be reminded of. That's why Sigma men prefer to keep a low profile and avoid any unnecessary attention. It's better to watch everyone than to be watched by everyone. Number 7. Believing everything on the internet. People are funny sometimes. They think it must be true if it's on the news or pops up in a Google search. Just because something is online doesn't make it a fact. The internet is full of fake news and wrong information, but some people don't seem to question it, while others are quick to believe everything they see. Sigma men don't take everything at face value. They're naturally skeptical and always dig a little deeper. If they read something online, they double-check it. Some people or companies have an agenda, and they'll say anything to push it. Think about it. Anyone can write anything online. Even on social media, people share things without checking if they're true. Sigma men aren't fooled by clickbait headlines. They look for reliable sources, like trusted news sites or experts in the field. Not everything can be explained with a quick Google search. Some things require more research and critical thinking. Then there are internet rumors. Remember the story about the world ending in 2012, or how sitting too close to the TV makes you go blind? Sigma men laugh at these. They're always asking, where's the proof? They don't buy into popular myths just because everyone else does. Even product reviews can be tricky. Some companies pay for fake positive reviews. Sigma men read the bad reviews too and check if the reviewers sound real. They want the truth, not some sales pitch. Believing everything online can lead to poor choices. Fake health tips, bad financial advice, and even scams are out there. Sigma men take online info with a grain of salt. They use their common sense and verify facts before making decisions, whether it's buying a product or forming an opinion.